Hello everybody, this is Diamond Suri from Canwings Consultants Private Limited. A very warm welcome to my YouTube session. This particular session is going to be about Canada immigration and not Australia immigration. Now that may come as a surprise to many, and a lot of you may be thinking, why is Diamond Suri doing a program on Canada immigration while most of our other videos have been on Australia migration? So my answer to this is as follows. A lot of times when I'm reviewing the CVs, I see that a lot of people, a lot of profiles are not eligible for Australia because for certain occupations, getting an Australian immigration may be more difficult. For example, the teachers, the nurses, they need to undergo a lot of stringent criteria as far as Australia is concerned, whereas a Canadian immigration may be far easier for them to get. Also, there are certain occupations which are not available in Australia but in Canada. So to say, the Canadian occupation list is much more vast and accommodates a large number of occupations which perhaps Australia does not. Also, the threshold requirement in terms of the English proficiency for Australia is 6 bands in each section, whereas in Canada, under certain programs, an applicant can be eligible to get immigration even at a score lesser than 6 bands in each section. All right, so the three pathways the express entry works through are the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Now this is the most popular program. This is for those who are working in professional occupations and usually end up getting an invitation to apply because their CRS score is high enough, and that's how they get a direct immigration to Canada. The other is the Federal Skilled Trades Program. As the name suggests, this is a direct immigration program for those who are working in trade occupations such as welder, fitter, AC refrigeration mechanic, and so on. The third is a Canadian Experience Class Program. Now this essentially is for those who've had work experience in Canada. So for overseas applicants, this of course will not be applicable. Now we do know that for Canada, if you have a higher CRS score, then you stand a better chance of getting an invitation to apply for a visa. So what about those who do not have a high CRS score, who have a low English proficiency, who don't have enough experience, or whose age is quite a bit? What are the options for them? Are they eligible to migrate to Canada? My answer to that is a big yes. So I'd like you to think about the 13 programs, the provincial programs that Canada offers to migrants. Instead of going through the Federal Skilled Worker Program, if you think you do not meet the requirements of the FSW, you can always route your application through one of these programs. So I'm just going to list the programs, and of course in subsequent videos, I'll be detailing on each program, its eligibility criteria, its occupation list, etc. Now let me tell you before listing these programs that all these programs have their own unique eligibility criteria. They have their own occupation list. So it is important that you understand what are the eligibility criteria for each province. And if you happen to meet one of the province's criteria, then of course you can route your application through one of these provinces. So let's get started. The first one is the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program, which is known as the AINP. The second one is the British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program, that is popularly known as the BC PNP program, the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program, the New Brunswick Provincial Nominee Program, the Newfoundland and Labrador Nominee Program. Now we recently had some very interesting updates about this particular program, and a lot of people were found to be eligible for this. The Northwest Territories Nominee Program, the Nova Scotia Nominee Program, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, the OINP, that is again a very popular program, the Prince Edward Island Nominee Program, the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, the Yukon Nominee Program, the Rural Northern Immigration Pilot Program, that is the RNIP, this is again a very popular program, the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, the AIPP, that is again a very popular program. So like I just shared with you that all these provinces have their own criteria, own requirements, and on a case-to-case basis we will be able to tell you whether you meet the requirements for these provinces or not. But one thing I can assure you, that the criteria can be very, very lenient. These provinces could be accepting applicants with a higher age, with a lower work experience, with a lesser qualification, and of course a much lesser IELTS score. Now, I just want to, before ending this video, quickly discuss with you 5 typical examples of cases that can be eligible for Canada immigration. So let's get started with a very typical case, that is somebody who has a master's degree, has about 3 years of work experience, has a score of 778 in IELTS, the age being below 30. So this is an ideal candidate for a federal skilled worker, or let's say an express entry program. On the other hand, let's say the person has a bachelor's degree, has 3 years of work experience, has an IELTS score of 778, is also below 30 years of age. Now this applicant can be eligible for the express entry program provided the CRS score drops down. Alternately, such applicant can route his or her application through one of the 13 PNP programs. The third example I'm going to take is of an IT professional, or let's say an accountant, a financial accountant, a staff nurse, etc., who has a CRS of more than 400 points. Now this would be a very ideal case for an OINP program, that is the Ontario program. The fifth example I'm going to share with you is about an applicant whose CRS is less, probably ranging between 300 to 350, but his or her occupation is in demand in Alberta. Therefore, this would be an ideal candidate for the Alberta PNP program. Also, interestingly, I have the last example to share with you. Let's say there is an applicant whose score is less than, IELTS score is less than 4 or even 5 bands. Even such an applicant can be eligible for skilled migration to Canada under the Saskatchewan or the RNIP or the AIPP program. Therefore, the opportunities are unlimited. There are multiple programs through which an applicant with any kind of profile can be eligible. I encourage you to send across your CVs to us on canwings@gmail.com, that is CANWINGS@gmail.com, or you can also email us on enquiries@canwings.com, or give us a call on 78498. We'll be very happy to assess your eligibility and get back to you with an advice. So until next time, take care and goodbye.